I'm Neil, and I'm the teacher.
And I'm Sean, and I'm the deal maker.
Together,
We're the Rise Guys.
Welcome back to Rise Weekly. I'm about to tell you a story about a single real estate transaction, one listing at 123 Storybook Lane. And it is going to seem pretty routine at first. But the agent in this story, let us call him Chris, he manages to commit 14 separate regulatory violations before the deal closes. 14. So here's what I want you to do. Grab a pen, pause this if you need to, and as I walk you through this deal, see how many violations you can spot before I reveal them at the end. Let us get into it. I'm about to walk you through a single real estate transaction, one listing at 123 Storybook Lane, start to finish. Sounds routine, right? Except the agent in this story makes 14 regulatory violations along the way. 14, grab a pen, see how many you can catch before I reveal them. And just to be clear, this scenario is entirely fictional. All the names and brokerages are completely made up for educational purposes. So here is the setup. Chris is a licensed associate at ABC Realty. He has just picked up a new listing on a 4-level split at 123 Storybook Lane. He meets with the sellers, Paul and Linda, signs a seller representation agreement, and Paul asks about commission. Chris tells him the industry standard is 7% on the first 100,000 and 3% on the balance. That is just what everybody charges, he says, so there is not much flexibility. Then Chris measures the place. It is a 4-level split. Levels 1 and 2 are above grade. Level 3 is a family room where the back wall is partially below grade because of a sloped lot, but it has big windows and feels bright. Level 4 is a fully finished basement. Chris includes all 4 levels in his RMS calculation because, well, it is all finished space. While he is measuring, he notices the garage looks like it might encroach toward the rear lane, but he does not say anything. He figures the RPR will sort that out later. Paul also mentions they tested for radon a couple years back. The result was 215, and they had a contractor that they found online install a mitigation system. Chris makes a note of it, but does not ask for any documentation, receipts, or whether the contractor was CNRPP certified. Chris gets the listing online. He posts the total square footage he calculated, all 4 levels combined under the heading total living space. Then he jumps on his personal Instagram and posts, just listed, follow my page this week, and I will enter you in a draw for a $100 gift card. Pretty standard looking marketing on the surface, but pay attention to how that square footage was labeled and who is running that gift card promotion. David and Sarah reach out to Chris directly. They do not have their own agent. Chris gets permission from Paul and Linda for a showing to people. 1 hour, no photos, but David and Sarah show up with David's parents, his brother, and 2 kids. 7 people total. Chris figures the more the merrier and lets everyone in. During the showing, David's father tries a door thinking it is a closet. It is actually Paul's locked personal storage room. He asks Chris to open it. Chris finds a spare key on the counter and unlocks it so the group can see the full place. Then Sarah asks if she can take some photos of the kitchen for renovation ideas. Chris says, sure, the sellers will not mind. And throughout all of this, Chris never once mentions transaction brokerage or gets consent from anyone about the fact that he now has buyers and sellers coming through him. David and Sarah decide to make an offer. Chris drafts it up and wanting to help them. He includes a note in the offer, remarks that the sellers are motivated and have already purchased another home, so a quick close is preferred. The RPR comes back and confirms the garage does encroach on the rear lane allowance. Chris tells Paul, do not worry about it. The buyer can just get title insurance and that will cover everything. The deal closes and Chris collects his commission payment directly from Paul by personal check. That is the whole story. So how many did you catch? Let us go through them. All right, let us see how you did. Number 1, Chris told Paul and Linda that 7 and 3 is the industry standard that is flat out prohibited. RECA's disclosed cost of services bulletin is explicit. No council, no board, no association sets minimum fees. All fees are negotiable between the client and the brokerage. Number 2, that family room on level 3, the back wall is partially below grade. RMS Principle 6 is unambiguous. If any portion of a level is below grade, the entire level is excluded from RMS. How finished or bright it looks is completely irrelevant. Number 3, same story with the basement. Below grade is below grade, regardless of how developed it is. A bedroom and bathroom do not change the grade classification. And number 4, labeling all 4 levels as total living space. That is misleading marketing. The RMS area must only include above grade levels. Below grade space has to be disclosed separately and clearly labeled. Number 5, Chris noticed the garage encroachment and said nothing. He has a duty to advise Paul and Linda immediately. Sitting on it and hoping the RPR sorts it out is not acceptable. Discovering an encroachment mid-transaction creates complications for everyone. Early disclosure gives the sellers time to address it properly. Number 6, the radon. The result was 215, which is above Health Canada's 200 threshold. When radon is at or above 200 and remediation has been done, RECA's radon bulletin specifically requires you to request documentation. That means receipts, the contractor's CNRPP certification, and any follow-up test results. Chris did none of that. Number 7, that Instagram gift card draw. Only a brokerage can advertise incentives to the public. An individual licensee cannot offer their own incentives to attract personal business, even if it is framed as a thank you on social media. Number 8, 7 people at a showing where permission was for 2. Permission is always limited to its stated conditions. Chris had no authority to extend it. The additional 5 people are technically trespassing. Number 9, unlocking Paul's private storage room. Permission for a showing does not extend to locked private areas. Chris should never have used that key. And number 10, allowing photos when the sellers said no photos. Chris assumed they would not mind, but assumption is not permission. He had no authority to override the seller's restriction. Number 11, and this is a big one, Chris has unrepresented buyers making an offer through the seller's agent, and he never once mentions transaction brokerage. Both parties must be informed and must provide written consent before proceeding. Skipping that is a fundamental breach. Number 12, including the seller's motivation in the offer remarks. Revealing that Paul and Linda are motivated and have already bought another home hands, David and Sarah, massive negotiating leverage. That is a direct breach of confidentiality. Number 13, telling Paul to just get title insurance when the RPR showed an encroachment. Title insurance and an RPR are not interchangeable, and the standard contract requires the seller to provide an RPR with municipal compliance. Title insurance does not release the seller from that obligation. And number 14, collecting his commission by personal check directly from Paul. That is an absolute rule under RECA. All commission payments must go through the brokerage trust account. Individual licensees cannot accept payment directly from clients under any circumstances. So how did you do? There were 3 critical violations: the personal commission check, disclosing the seller's motivation in the offer, and proceeding without transaction brokerage consent. Those 3 could each end a career on their own. 7 high severity violations covering commission misrepresentation, the 2 RMS errors, the encroachment, the radon handling, unauthorized showing access, and the title insurance advice. And 4 medium severity ones: the misleading total living space label, the personal Instagram incentive, unlocking the storage room, and allowing photos. If you caught 12 or more, you're exam ready. 9 to 11, solid, but review what you missed. 6 to 8, go back to the access, transaction, brokerage, and RMS bulletins. Under 6, spend some more time with the study guides before your exam. If this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe so you do not miss the next one. New webinar summary every week. And if you want to join us live, we run a free online webinar every Thursday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Just sign up and log in. Also, Rise Real Estate Academy has everything you need to pass the RECA exam. Our training material comes straight from the RECA textbooks, so you are studying the real thing. Plus, you get Mark, your personal AI tutor, included with every Rise course.